Alright guys, what's going on? BSG bringing you another Grand Cross video. So a couple days ago I made a video on the red demon and the units that are good for it, bad for it, you know, okay, or you just using the sub slots. So I'm gonna do that again with the gray demon. This is gonna be a I mean, you see the list, it's gonna be a pretty quick video because a majority of the green units in the game are just not good for this boss. Like I'm gonna just be honest with you. Yeah, you might be using them for like normal or hard, but once you move into extreme and hell, you're not really using them to be completely honest. And again, like the other one, this is just green units. You can in normal and hard, possibly extreme, get away with using some other types. But I just don't necessarily think that's the smartest way to go about, you know, going against these demons. You should always try and use type advantage, but to each their own. Now, like I said, the amount of units in no use, and I did add this, some are useful for normal and hard, because I know a lot of people might end up using some of these units in, you know, normal and hard, right? So I just went ahead and added that because not all of them are like misses. There are a few that could potentially work. Like for example, Assault Melee and Melascula. They're units where I think they could be good depending on the situation. But remember, this boss cancels buffs. He depletes ultimate move gauges. So you got to be careful about how you play it too, right? You got to be careful about the teams you're bringing in. Most of the time you will see the best team setup is Liz, Gulther, and Merlin. That is the best team setup you can possibly bring. With a friend, you know, bringing Hellbrum is good. Actually, I was considering moving Hellbrum up to best units, but I don't know. Maybe I should just leave him here because he is one of the best units you could use in this. Because again, if you bring a friend and they have Hellbrum, that's increasing your attack related stats. You can, what is it, 2 or 3 turn the gray demon? Because if you get a crit with Merlin and she's fully built, you're done. Like you're done with the first phase already. You're done, right? And then the second phase, you could easily just hope and pray you get RNG, but you can easily just get a few more Merlin cards and then win. Like that's it, right? So yeah, these are the best units, obviously. But yeah, like I said, some of these units in here they're not complete zeros, but most of them are. Like most of them are just complete zeros. It's just truth be told. But I know a few people might like use, I don't know, Estarossa or Zaratros. If you're brand new to the game, brand new to the game, you don't have some of these units, there's a chance you could use them in normal hard for sure. I'm not saying you can't, but are they good? Probably not. So yeah, let's get away from this. This is a big section. It's funny. All right, so then we got subunits. Subunits, I mean, subunits are just subunits. They're not nothing special. They're not doing much on the front. They're legitimately subunits, right? That's their purpose, just to be in the 4th slot. I'm trying to think. You could maybe use Alioni in the front, maybe, I guess, if you're brand new and normal and hard, because he does have a damage reduction skill, so that's good. But the rest of them, you're not using at all. Yeah, you're just, no, I cannot see anybody using, like, no, there's no way. Keep in mind, the gray demon can't be debuffed either, so you're thinking about running debuff units. He can't be debuffed, or at least in, I believe, extreme and hell, he can't be debuffed. My memory's a little foggy on the normal and hard section, but I do believe he's immune to all debuffs on all phases and all difficulties. So keep that in mind, right? You don't want to run a unit or someone who's relying on debuffs, because it's just not going to work, because that's, you know, it's not how the demon works at all. So yeah, he is immune to all debuffs on all phase or all difficulties, normal, hard, extreme, and hell. He is immune to debuffs, so keep that in mind. But yeah, these subunits, I mean, they're just subunits, nothing too special or crazy about them. Just helping you out on the 4th slot, right? So then we move up to the okay units. Now, one unit in, well, a couple of units in here, guys, that are a little iffy. I would say Rimuru's iffy. I would say maybe Shin's iffy. Escondar. Wow, is this whole list just iffy? Like, is this whole, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, wait, hold up, wait a minute. All right, let's break it down. Let's just break it down. Let's start with Rimuru. So Rimuru can be good. keep in mind, you can't use physical attacks, all right? You cannot use physical attacks until the demon is either standing or on the second phase he is stunned. So that is the only time you can use physical attacks. The rest have to be ranged. They have to be ranged. So keep that in mind. But with that said, depending on the team you're running and the friend team you're running, and you know, if you're not using the best setup in Lolly Merlin, Liz, and Gother, you know, maybe you're having trouble because you just started and you're on normal and hard, you can get away with using Escondar and Extreme, maybe even Jericho and all. You could pretty much get away with using all of these guys in Extreme. Valenti is on here because she reduces the Gray Demon's Pierce, so his damage actually isn't going to be that good. So his damage will be reduced by a lot. That'll help you live. You could, you know, stall out until he's standing or stunned or whatever the case may be. So she can be really useful as a setback character in early / mid game content, right? For the, or not content, but early / mid difficulty for the Great Demon. So it's really nice to have her, I guess, as a support. But once you reach Hell, she is not doing it. You want to burst down Hell, right? You want to burst him down. But yeah, Brunhild, even though she does not have access to her passive, her overall skills are very good because she has Power Strike, and then she also has Detonate. So that's why Brunhild's skill set is very good for Demonic Beast battle. And even though, again, she doesn't have access to her passive, she can still be very useful in certain situations in deathmatch. So keep that in mind. But Escondar, we already know Escondar. Escondar, he does have one ranged move with Cruel Sun. You get his ultimate. His ultimate's hidden for numbers. Let's be real. His ultimate's going to hit very, very hard. Shin can help if you don't have Green Gother. Shin can help because he can rank up skills as long as he uses three skills and 3 skills overall, right? He will be able to rank up the skills of all allies. So he is very useful. Plus, both of his skills are ranged. They are ranged skills, so he can hit from the get-go. He doesn't need to wait until the enemy or to the demon is stunned or standing. He can just hit from the get-go. I'm not saying he's gonna hit hard, but he can still do some type of damage, right? Elizabeth is a really good healer. Her ult increases the ult gauge of all allies by 2. She can heal on her ult. She removes buffs, so on the second phase of the Grey Demon where he has that HP buff, she can remove it, which is really nice. Again, like I said, Rimuru situational, but once the demon is standing, he gets his Pierce card. He's increasing his basic stats. He also has Abyss. Let's not forget he has Abyss, so that's also useful. And then Jericho's just here because she's a, you know, she can potentially crit and do some numbers when he's standing and stunned. So yeah, the okay units are legitimately just okay units. It's really hard for the Grey Demon, especially because of his mechanic that he flies. That's why if he was standing all the time, you could hit him regardless of ranged or physical. A majority of these units actually probably would be moved around everywhere, to be completely honest with you. But the way they build him, you have to use range skills to burst him down pretty much. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So moving up to solid units. Okay, so solid units, right? We got Traitor Melee. Now I know a lot of people are gonna be like, why Traitor Melee in solid? Why isn't he one of the best? The reason for that is because Traitor Melee does have a physical skill. It's his amplify skill. His amplify skill is his physical skill. His Pierce, I believe, is the ranged one, right? So his Pierce card can hit regardless of whether he's in or not. But unfortunately, his amplify skill, which is the most damaging skill, is ranged. And actually, no, his Pierce skill is physical. Okay, wow. Well, that sucks. But here's the thing about Melee, though. You get him standing or stunned, Melee can just deal massive damage. The only thing is you have to run him with single target units to get his passive to go off. But that's why you can bring King if you don't have Merlin, right? You just started, you have King. You know, you pull Traitor Melee. If you pull Merlin, like Merlin is just literally #1. She's a goddess. She's literally a goddess of this this death match. But I mean, again, Traitor Melee can do good. It's just annoying. I wouldn't recommend, if you have the best team setup in Lolly Merlin, Liz, and Gother, to run him. But if you don't have any other option, right, you want to run, I don't know, Green Skinny King, Yeah, if you just want to run this, I guess this could work, right? King, maybe Green Gother if you have him, and then Traitor Melee, that could work. King is very, like, I obviously know Merlin is better than King, but King is still very good. He is actually just really good because he can crit. You got to get his ultimate move gauge up, but he can crit. I think that a lot of people, you know, don't see the value in him because we have Lolly Merlin and the good setup for her, but King is still very useful. You build him, if you wanted to prioritize like Great Demon Deathmatch or whatever, and you give him crit damage gear, his crit damage is gonna go crazy, right? His crit damage will actually be insane. It's actually very, like, just very good that he has the utility to do this, because he was handmade for it. He actually was just handmade for it, so he's still good for this deathmatch to this day. I think so, right? You could maybe move him down to okay, but I still think he's solid. I do. Sario, same thing. The only thing with Sario though is Sario doesn't hit that hard. He does need teammates. He just does, but he can do the job because he has the stance, it counters, and he, you know, he has a range skill, so he can do the job. He definitely can. You do need support with him though. He's not a unit where it's just like, all right, we got green Sario, we won despite the, you know, my friend's team. Like, no, you do need him to, you know, get a little bit of support. But overall, like, again, this was very hard, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna criticize this one the most. I can already see it because of the fact that so many units can do so many different things. You know, the way the Great Demon is set up, it's just very hard, right, to grade some of these units, because there might be a player out there who just uses Assault Melee and just with another friend or something like that, and they have a strat where they just, as soon as he's standing or stunned, just beat him in one turn or something like that. There could be teams out there that are just, that I don't know about, right? So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you're using a weird team, or if there's a team that I don't know and I didn't really think about the unit's placement for that team, because it happens, right? I'm human, it happens. So yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the very quick tier list to make. Wasn't that hard, to be honest with you. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see you all later.